Thanks for joining us this evening on TKO8 Local News. A former classic car dealer in Harrison has been sentenced to 14 years in a federal penitentiary on counts of wire fraud, mail fraud, 2 counts of money laundering, and possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. According to the news release from acting U.S. Attorney for the Western District, Kenneth Elzer, 57-year-old Travis Allen Blount was sentenced on Wednesday in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Blount, who now lives in Kirbyville, Missouri, was also sentenced to 3 years of supervised release in order to pay more than $900,000 in restitution to over 80 victims. From 2012 until January 2015, Blount operated Corvettes and Classics in Harrison. As a part of the business, Blount solicited owners of classic and vintage automobiles to place their vehicles with him on a consignment basis, promising to pay the owners after the sale of the automobiles. Blount, however, would sell the cars and never pay the owners. A long-standing member of the area's law enforcement community has died. Berryville's police chief, Dave Muntz, was the longest-serving police chief in Arkansas at the time of his death on Monday. For over 35 years, Muntz led the police department with compassion and dignity. He was a big believer in community policing and had the respect of all who came in contact with him. He was also instilled in his officers that respect for the public should be at all times. At Tuesday's Berryville City Council meeting, a very emotional mayor, Tim McKinley, had difficulty with maintaining his composure with reading a statement before the meeting about the chief's passing, saying he will be sorely missed and he was a lifelong friend of the community. Memorial service for Chief Muntz will be held on Saturday, January 16th at Bobcat Arena. 14th Judicial District Deputy Prosecutor Carrie Chisholm, Baxter County Sheriff John Montgomery, and Marion County Sheriff Joan Vickers testified Wednesday morning at a victim impact hearing in advance of the next week's parole hearing for Christina Scroggin of Mountain Home. Scroggin was found guilty of manslaughter in the death of Raul Torita in April of last year and is scheduled for her first parole hearing on January 14th. Scroggin is currently an inmate in the McPherson unit of the state prison system at Newport. The state had originally charged Scroggin with first-degree murder, but the 8-women, 4-man jury rejected that charge and opted instead for the lesser-included offense of manslaughter. Chisholm says the panel went on behalf of the family who live out of state and would not have been able to attend the hearing. Well, Methvin Sanitation has purchased the old Duncan Industries building on Industrial Park Road and plans to open a transfer station at that facility. Records show the company bought the building from Ronat Corporation for $350,000 in December, and the deed was recorded late last month. Mark Methvin said he plans to open the building as a transfer station to service contractors and the public who are currently hauling refuse to the Methvin transfer station in Harmon. Methvin says that he will be an enclosed facility that contractors will be able to drive through. He also will open it to the public if necessary. But before the process can begin, Methvin says that he will have to apply for a certification of need from the Ozark Mountain Solid Waste District, and a public hearing will be scheduled within the next couple of months. Well, moving day could be coming for Arkansas State Police Troop I headquarters here in Harrison. Information officer for the state police, Bill Sadler, says the Harrison headquarters was one of 4 that the state is looking at relocating. Sadler says that decision has been going on since last year, and state police officials have made some inspections in Boone County regarding a possible new location. The current Troop I headquarters, located on Airport Road, dates back to 1974 and requires a number of repairs to keep it going, including they need more space. According to Sadler, Boone County has offered to donate land next to the Sheriff's Department and jail for a new headquarters, but other locations are also under consideration. No timetable has been set for the decision. Stay with us. Be back in a moment. We'll take a look at some headline news from around the region. But first, here's this week's livestock report with Sammy Klein, brought to you by Quality Feed Grains of Harrison and Belfont.
This is Sammy Klein, Federal State Livestock Market News Service, reporting the sale of North Arkansas Livestock Auction and Grain Force for Wednesday, January 6th. Cattle receipts $8.80. Last week, no sale. Year ago, $5.63. Compared to 3 weeks ago, feeders mostly $15 to $30 higher. 3 weeks ago before the holiday. Slaughter cows and bulls steady $1 higher. Feeder steers, being large ones, 300 to 400 pound, 208 to 245. 400 to 500 pound, 190 to 212. 5 to 600 pound, 169 to 198. 6 to 700 pound, 160 to 172. 7 to 800 pound, 154 to 156.50. 8 to 900 pound, few at 150 to 156. Feeder heifers, medium large ones, 3 to 400 pound, 180 to 194. 4 to 500 pound, 166 to 187. 5 to 600 pound, 155 to 182. 6 to 700 pound, 140 to 159, with a package of 621 pound replacement heifers at 169. 7 to 800 pound, 143 to 152. Replacement cows, medium large 1 and 2, 2 to 7-year-old, 900 to 1300 pounds, second, third stage, 1,000 to 1950 per head, and first stage at 1125 to 1625 per head. From 7 to 10-year-old cows, second and third stage is 825 to 1500 per head. Lean, 59 to 68. High dress, 67 to 73. Slaughter bulls, grade 1s and 2s, 1,100 pound, 85 to 95.50. High dress, 98 to 106. Low dress, 75 to 84. That's Mark today. Sammy Klein reporting. Thank you.
Stop and shop.
The New Year savings continue at Edwards Grocery. Check out these fantastic 2016 deals. USDA ground chuck, only $1.99 of the 10-pound tubes. Assorted bone-in chops, only $1.79 per pound. Selected varieties, Tombstone pizzas, 3 for $10. Florida Red Ripe strawberries, only $2.99 of the 1-pound package. And selected varieties, Swiss Miss hot cocoa mix, only 69 cents.
Edwards Grocery Station money.
Introducing 2 new families of ATVs from Yamaha. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700. The new Grizzly offers increased power and performance to deliver more exploration and more adventure. The new Kodiak 700 features legendary Yamaha reliability for more productivity and more value. The all-new Grizzly and Kodiak 700 ATVs, all with more than ever before.
Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson said he'd prefer one special session in the future of the state's hybrid Medicaid expansion and highway funding, but hasn't ruled out asking lawmakers to address the issues at separate times. Hutchinson says he is meeting February the 1st with U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Sylvia Burwell about his proposals to rename and add restrictions to the private option program. The program, crafted as an alternative to expanding Medicaid under the federal health law, uses federal funds to purchase private insurance for the poor. Hutchinson also says he plans to unveil his proposal for increasing highway funding on January the 19th. A task force last year offered a list of options for boosting road funding, including tax increases and tapping in to the general fund. Arkansas Secretary of State Mark Martin has reversed course and says the state capitol will remain open to the public on weekends. Martin's office has announced that the state capitol will be open on weekends and state holidays from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. The decision comes less than a month after Martin announced the building would close on weekends for security reasons. Martin's office says the decision to keep the capitol open was made after consulting with Governor Asa Hutchinson's office as well as public officials and other individuals. Hutchinson says he had expressed concern that closing the Capitol on the weekends would limit the public's access to that building. Rain forecast for today and Friday across most of the state is not expected to have a substantial effect on flooded rivers that continue to recede, although floodwaters remain a concern along the lower Arkansas River and the lower White River Valley. Officials also are closely watching the Mississippi River, which is swollen with floodwaters from the Midwest and will crest along the Arkansas banks over the next week. Governor Asa Hutchinson has declared 38 of Arkansas's 75 counties as disaster areas due to last week's flooding. At least 2 deaths in the state have been attributed to the flooding itself. A Maine-based company is announcing plans to expand its manufacturing plant in northeast Arkansas. Falmouth, Maine-based Southward Products Corporation CEO Brian McNair says that the company will invest nearly $1 million in the plant in Manila and add some 35 jobs. The company plans to add 2 new assembly lines at the plant and to better separate its shipping and production operations. Southworth Products Corporation is the world's largest manufacturer of eonomic material handling equipment and container handling equipment for vertical lifting and work positioning. The products are intended to improve worker productivity and reduce workplace injuries. Its products include scissor lift tables, pallet lift loaders, vertical conveyors, and manual lifter transporters. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson says he wants lawmakers to end the state's practice of commemorating Confederate General Robert E. Lee and civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. on the same day. The governor told reporters that when the legislature meets for its regular session next year, it should give King his own holiday. Arkansas is one of 3 states to jointly celebrate King and Lee on the 3rd Monday in January. Proposals to end the joint holiday failed multiple times before a House panel last year, as opponents said the separation would belittle Southern heritage. Hutchinson said King deserves the holiday to himself to commemorate his role in the civil rights movement. Before we take a look at the weather forecast as we move into the weekend, here's the way the stock market ended today, courtesy of Arvest Bank.
We came to Arvest Bank to see what makes it different.
It's a community bank that really reaches out to the customers to make them feel special. I feel special every time I come in here.
They want to be involved in the community and want to be part of the community.
They support our university, our athletic department.
They've told us that they could have a fleet of volunteers there to help this year if we needed.
Rain started overnight here in the viewing area and continued throughout the day today, all the way into the early evening hours. The system with flow off of the Gulf of Mexico continued to move right up over the state of Arkansas primarily and brought anywhere from 3/4 of an inch to a couple of inches of rainfall to certain parts of Arkansas, although there was really no extended flooding, as I mentioned earlier, because of this rainfall. It was light in most cases. However, the system will move off tonight to the east-northeast, should clear out by Friday morning early, but we will have fog late tonight in the early morning hours, according to the National Weather Service. So make sure if you're out late tonight and early morning that you consider the fact we will have fog, particularly in the low-lying areas. Looks to be a beautiful day tomorrow, almost spring-like day on Friday before we hit the iceberg once again. Here's the way it looks over the next few days. Friday to be a beautiful day out there. Lots of sunshine, according to the National Weather Service. 62 degrees with no rain in the forecast. However, on Saturday, another system will come in close enough to us with some moisture, and we go to 39 degrees for a high on Saturday. Overnight low Saturday night, 17. Rain and snow flurries in the forecast for Saturday, about 70% chance. Sunday, it's just going to be downright cold, 34 degrees under sunny skies. Overnight low Sunday night, 16 degrees. And then we kick off the work week with a slight warming trend. On Monday, 45 degrees with sunny skies, and Tuesday, 44 degrees under partly cloudy skies. So we're going to be in the deep freeze at least for one day for sure, maybe a little bit longer, but then should warm back up to about normal temperatures for this time of the year. Stay with us. Be back in a moment. We'll take a look at sports from around the region as TKO8 News continues.
John was the first one to be an inpatient here, and everything was great. And I had heard some negative things about the hospital, and I'm going, what are you talking about? This hospital's great. Why would you want to travel over to Fayetteville when you have this great hospital? All the nurses, everybody, phenomenal.
Technology is a living thing. It listens to us.
How may I help you?
It shows us the way. It expands our minds and gives us vision where once we had none. This is how civilization moves forward. This
Is how we get coffee.
the 2016 Corolla. Technology on a whole other level.
Right now, get $1,000 customer cash, or qualified buyers get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a stylish new 2016 Corolla. Toyota, let's go places.
The North Arkansas College High School Tournament held its girls' quarterfinal round Wednesday in Harrison. North Fork was eliminated by another group of Lady Panthers as they fell to Yellville Summit, 51-43. Kylie Duffy led Yellville with 19 points and Abby Hemmock added 11. Yellville Summit meets top seed Kingston in Friday's semifinal action. Another squad of Lady Panthers were bounced from the quarterfinals. Second seeded Bergman was upset by 7th seed Alpena, 47-44. Jasper will be the Lady Leopards' next opponent on Friday evening. The Lady Pirates defeated Omaha 53-41. J.J. Frazier scored 16 points to lead Georgia's strong three-point attack, and the Bulldogs beat Missouri 77-59 last night for their first Southeastern Conference victory. Frazier made 4 of 6 three-pointers. Yonte Matten had 15 points, and Charles Maine added 14 for the Bulldogs, which made 11 of 19 three-pointers. Georgia scored the first 10 points and never trailed. Freshman Kevin Poomer led Missouri with 19 points. Wes Clark had 13, and no other Tigers scored in double figures. The Tigers had a mini rally with 7 straight points midway through the second half to trim Georgia's lead to 57-42, but never could keep the momentum going. Dominique Miller's layup with 5 seconds left lifted Missouri State to a 59-58 squeaker over Northern Iowa on Wednesday night, snapping the Bears' 4-game losing streak. Ryan Kirklow made 3 free throws, 2 with 42 seconds left to cut Northern Iowa's lead to 58-57. After the Panthers struggled to get the ball up court and calling 2 timeouts, Clint Carlson missed on a baseline drive. Kirklow got the rebound, and Miller raced down the floor and scored before the Panthers' Wes Walsham missed a short jumper at the buzzer. The victory snapped a 6-game losing streak for Northern Iowa. Well, the Rams' relocation application says the NFL would benefit from the team's move to suburban Los Angeles, leaving behind a lagging St. Louis market and a stadium proposal doomed to fail. Rams owner Stan Kroenke has proposed building a $1.8 billion stadium in Inglewood, California, with plans to put the Rams back in the market they left to move to St. Louis in 1995. The San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders want to move to the Los Angeles area too, with plans to share a stadium in Carson, California. Owners met January the 12th and 13th in Houston to decide who gets to move. The task force that has proposed a new stadium in St. Louis calls the team's assessment of its St. Louis experience inaccurate and extremely disappointing. All-star outfielder Alex Gordon has signed a $72 million 4-year deal to remain with the World Series champion Kansas City Royals. The deal includes a mutual option for the 2020 season. Its value makes it the largest in franchise history, trumping $55 million deals given to Mike Sweeney and Gil Mickett. The 31-year-old Gordon declined an option for $13.7 million to test free agency. Injuries limited him to 104 games last year. Well, that wraps up our broadcast here for this evening. Thanks for joining us. Join us Monday through Friday at 6:30 and again at 10 p.m. as we continue to bring you local news, weather, sports, and local announcements from around the area on Harrison's broadcast station, TKO Channel 8. Now stay tuned for more local events.